Eddie Van Halen here, telling you, keep playing, man. Gotta keep playing. It's the only thing there is. Music, man. Keep playing. All right? I'm gonna come looking for you if you don't.
What is up? What's happening? What's going on? It's Trans Thursday. Is it? It is Thursday, right? Yeah. So it's sort of Trans Thursday, but it's Thursday OhYouCrüe Jam. Because I'm going to be here for the start, but I got to get out here pretty soon. So John's running a little late. I don't think Trev is going to be here. He's over on the island, I think. So he's probably out on a fishing boat somewhere. But welcome in. We've got Randy, the Ripper, and we've got Jimmy, the Nibbler Biter. What's up, boys? How's it going?
Glad it's a short week.
Me too. I got tomorrow off. Long weekend. Happy 4th to everybody. Make sure that...
Happy 4th for all you Americans that aren't commies. And, yeah. So make sure everybody loads up the movie Independence Day for tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good watch. So, welcome in. Let's get over to the chat. Let's see who's here. It's been so long since I've done this. I'm kind of out of practice. Let's get it unzipped. See who's here. Here, Cola is first one. Howdy, friends. What are we drinking tonight? Sobriety may be overrated, but it beats a trip to the House of Pain. I tell you what, last Saturday night, oh my word. I'm thankful that I just went to bed and just fell asleep. Woke up the next day about, I guess it was probably 12:30. You have to put your feet on the floor while you're laying in the bed and make sure to get the ceiling spinning.
Make sure it's not spinning. Jeez, so it's a lot of fun though. So good to see you, Mr. Coli. We've got channel member Darren Darboard is here.
Darren.
Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Channel member Chuck C is in the chat saying, "What up, everyone? Good to see Chuck." Channel member Stu Petty is here as well, saying, "What's up, fellas? You know, just chilling." We've got also the one, the only, the official Rob Blackmore is here. Good to see you, Robbie. We've got channel member Steven Franklin dropping in to say hello on vacation, and he may be lurking. And start chilling, get your cold drink, and lurk away. Let's see. Channel member Cushman NYC is here saying hello to the mutants. Channel member, crew member, and panel member tonight, Jimmy, the Nibbler Biter, is here. We've got channel member Cucumber CMBR is hanging out with us. Right on. Good to see you. Wayne McConnell is here. We also have Mark Spurgeon. And we have channel member Dan Gorman is here. Right on. Thank you, Randy. Always a pleasure to hear the walk-on riff for Dan Gorman. We got Tim Thomas is here saying, hey. Good to see you, Tim. Let's see. Who else we got? Channel member Hip Metalworks Ken is here. Good to see you, Ken. I would expect that Trev may have made some rounds to visit Ken. I don't know. Let us know in the chat. Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights, is here. Right on. Let's see who else. Channel member, the one, the only, All Dave, All Night.
Yo, Dave.
Happy pre-4th of July, says. Right on, man.
Hey, Quentin, if you're going to text me screenshots of us on the YouTubes, click that join button below it, bruh.
There you go. Exactly. All right, so let's see. We've got Wall of Cries. I don't know what day it is. I'm all confused.
FTG.
Yep. Let's see. Tim Thomas, we said, hey, scrolling down. We got channel member Bo, Guitar Man 45 is here saying, hey to the crew. Right on. Good to see you, Bo. KXM Rock is here for the party. Welcome in. Let's see. Scrolling down, and there he is. The one, the only, thank God. Guitar Talk Universe Quentin is
You know,
here.
I was kind of pulling for Quentin to win that 7-string last night.
You know what? He already was given a guitar. He was given a computer. He was given an interface. Tom was deserving winner. So.
Pickups, pots.
Yep.
Glad Tom got it.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
that was the highlight of the night. Was a
Only-
certain
Was it, or
mugshot.
was it music? Therapy, asshole?
Oh jeez.
For the record, I was not. My burner account is not music therapy asshole. That was not me. I might have been somebody else,
Right.
but I'm glad Bent Tom. You know what? I don't know if anybody caught it in the chat, but Tommy was egging me on in the comments, like, you're not going to win that guitar, you're not going to win that guitar. And as the wheel was spinning, he typed in there, he goes, it's not like I am either. And then boom, Bent Tom.
Right on. Yeah, I think he deserves it for sure. Only problem is, it's 7 strings, so the reach on it is pretty wide, and I don't know if he'll be able to, to reach all the strings there.
Fucking Quentin, dude.
We'll have to see. Love you, Tom.
You can't see that worth of shit, but he screenshotted me flipping him off and sent it to me. Thank you, buddy.
Whatever makes his night. He's had a rough time with the poor little Hyundai. Keeps getting a jinx on it.
Well, he just needed a belt and some Freon. But Freon. Last I checked, Freon is a brand of refrigerant, and refrigerant doesn't usually just disappear.
No, it does not. So
Kind of like fuses don't usually just blow.
No, there's always a reason.
He probably means R134A.
134A probably, or that 1234Y, possibly. Well, his car is probably too old to have that.
Yeah,
1234YF. Yeah.
His is definitely 134A.
Certainly not R32 or 454 or R22 or R12. Yeah. Well, I don't know. His car is quite old, so it could be R12. I don't know. All right, who else is here? Anyway.
Fuck you, Quentin.
Shut up, Quentin. Mean Joe McGraw, channel member, is here. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you. Good to see you. Scrolling on down, who else do we have? Can't Drive, a 55, who was a winner last night on Under the Bus Network as well. And I won also. And as luck would have it, it's already here. Pack of 9s. Actually, this is a pack that I had laying there, but that's exactly what I use. And that's what I won. So, very cool. So, shout out to those Under the Bus boys. Let's see, who else do we have here that I have missed? Keep on scrolling here. Channel member Blue Mox is here. Good to see you, sir.
What's up,
and hey, look at here. We've got ready to come on in. It's John Deshane.
Quentin, my truck's paid for too, bro.
Welcome in, John.
Sorry I'm late, boys.
It's all good. We're just doing roll call. So, all good. Awesome. Quentin wants his $1.47 back. You ain't getting it. Let's see. Who else? We said hey to lady. Tim. Yeah. Mark's gas station is here. Good to see you.
What's up, Mark?
Been a minute.
How's your
Welcome
gas
back.
Station?
What's up, Mark?
Let's see.
That gas station.
Channel member Stu Petty, we already said hey to. We're going to say it again, and we are caught up in the chat. So, without any further ado, let's give a shout out and a thank you to our channel members. We do have channel membership available on the channel. If you'd like to help support us in that manner, we greatly appreciate it. So a big shout out and a thank you to all of our channel members, old and new, and those who have gifted channel memberships. We thank you too as well. So hit that join button. It's over there underneath the video. There's a link in the description that you can click as well and help us get some strings and things and picks and keep the lights on and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you to our channel members.
I like what you've done with the channel members dynamic scene there.
Yeah, I've changed it up a little bit. I was able to, you would think that Microsoft Excel, would be the best out there, right? For, filing and but I found this free version of a spreadsheet, and I found that the little special characters that are used on YouTube sometimes, like for instance, Rob Blackmore official, has the horns and the alien head. That never would come through on the Microsoft Excel, but it does come through. So I figured that you can notice right here on his name, it's there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Figured I'd change things up a little bit, change the look. So
Something to do with macros, I'm assuming.
Who knows? Who knows?
Tommy.
There he is, Bent Tom, the big winner from last night on Under the Bus. Can't wait to get your purple 7-string in the mail. Love you guys.
I hope you enjoy the hell out of that, man. You deserve it.
So, Tom, I was wondering, with the width of that neck, how are you going to play it? Because the 7-string is pretty wide. I mean, you don't have much reach.
With his fucking toes, man.
Oh, okay. There we go. Love you, Tommy. Congrats, man. You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Anybody else jump in? No, just Bent Tom there. Open office. I think that's something. He's going to take one string off and then he can reach.
There you go.
You need to be this tall to ride this ride or have this many fingers to play a 7-string. I'm just picking with you, Tom.
Quentin, all you're on it for is to take it to the pawn shop.
Missing 2 toes, but play it with the others that they didn't cut off. That's right. You got to adapt. Right on. All right, so I think we're caught up. We have all of the officiality stuff out of the way. So welcome in, John. How was your day, man?
Horrible.
Horrible?
Yeah.
Would you care to elaborate or just no, you're ready to?
No, I'm auditing a project that started in 2021. And,
wow.
It's ended up, and it's
Just kind of disaster at the end. Yeah.
It's not good. So it's going through, yes, very, very micro fine-tooth comb. And It's not as bad as I thought it was when I started the thing, but it's still not great.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass.
Well, it's construction related, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of times you get those last minute projects with the inspectors that are like, no, this $50,000 worth of work you did right here is not going to work. You're going to have to redo it. That kind of thing.
Well, I audit construction related things with pieces of shit that Ford Motor Company make daily.
Hey, look at there. We've got a CLS. The one, the only Christopher Live Sova is here. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Sova?
Tom is asking John, did the client try to give you a hand job? Just joking. Brother, I love you.
Tommy, these days, free hand jobs are welcome.
He would take it.
I would take it.
Mr. Blackmore official says, heard Quentin needed to get a brake job done, and he then decided to get a foot massage. I don't know. All I heard was some AC work that he did.
Sounds like he needs to get another pair of knee pads. Like he wore in the early 90s.
Right?
And some spandex. I guess.
Bo says, Tommy will do just fine with the guitar, fit right in with all the cool shit he has. He'll need to find room. Congrats, Tom. Right on, man. Yep.
One thing I would like to do, I've been thinking about this, and I think Randy actually mentioned it, was if Tommy would be interested, have him on a Tuesday guitar salon.
Absolutely.
He's got
Absolutely.
That
he got some
dude's,
cool shit, dude.
well, not only that, he's a super wealth of knowledge, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows all the old stuff.
Yep. Well, I mean, that was the whole point of the guitar salon for, talk about gear and, have 40 Grit and Mike on and, anybody else that's got some gear that they want to share some knowledge about. Yeah, for sure.
It's open invite, Tommy, anytime you want.
That would be super, super cool. Well, John, I was telling everybody else that I have an appointment that I've got to get to a little bit later tonight, actually.
What's
So
your name?
I won't be here for long. I can't tell you yet. So
That is good.
So we're just gonna call this a OhYouCrüe Thursday jam and pass it off to you guys in just a little bit. Would anybody care to hear any trans trimming tonight, or we just gonna play some rounds?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Might as well. It's Thursday,
Gotta
All right,
keep
let's
the
do it.
tradition.
right?
Trim now.
Okay, I'm completely disgusted with that version because it was not locked into the proper spot. So I got to restart, as I'm sure that Eddie would do if he did that. And I'm sure he's done that too. So let's restart. That sounds more like it. at 9:30. All right. I'm out of here, boys.
Have a wonderful evening, my friends.
Thanks.
Hopefully
Yep.
it's going to be fun.
Thanks for everybody being here. And I will see everybody Saturday night for the massive Saturday night OU Crew Hang open panel. So we will see everybody
Be
then.
good.
I
Right on.
in.
See you, boys. Have fun.
Action.
See you, man.
Jesus. Latest.
Chirp, chirp, crickets, crickets. It's back to us three losers again.
Well, we're
Yeah, that
consistent.
guitar sounds great down in B.
It does.
Joe. I don't know if we said hey to BC Rich 581.
How you doing?
But what's up, BC Rich 581?
Are you talking about the Trans Tram? Did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you drop that thing down to B, so
Is that still a thing, Gent?
there's plenty of bands still doing it. I don't listen to it, but
Like old Dave's got a question for you.
I feel like most of those gent bands are fucking guitar tones like too thin, don't have enough low end in them or something. I don't know.
Like
It's weird.
Periphery and those boys. I guess they're not really gent, are they?
You know, they're the ones that fucking started it.
Yeah.
Basically, them and Meshuggah. I think Meshuggah coined the term, but I don't know. I can't do Periphery because I fucking hate their singer,
Yeah.
and that
it's
just
too
that kills
mouthy
it for me. He does the low guttural thing, but then his singing voice is like that. He's got that higher pitched, whiny, emo sounding singer voice, and I can't fucking do it. Sorry. Oh, Dave says I decided not to sand that Pro Mod neck down to fit the new Pro Mod Plus body. I'll just buy the proper neck that fits. Thing is fucking thin. You're correct. I know this because I sent you a picture of the actual neck that goes on that body.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So just build two guitars out of one.
There we go.
That's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. Yeah, Bent Tom. Misha's a great guitar player, but I can't do his music. Well, fucking A, you got Misha, and then you've got Mark Holcomb in that band, who's another great guitar player, and then for the love of Christ, John Petrucci's nephew is the other guitar player. So
Stacked deck.
right. I mean, Jake Bowen, he's no Petrucci, but he's definitely got it in the blood, that Petrucci blood. Speaking of Dream Theater kids, did you see that Drumeo with Mike Portnoy's son, Max?
No, not yet. I'm so far behind on all my entertainment.
They had him come in for Father's Day, and it was filmed previously when Mike was in studio.
Right.
So they, tricked Max into coming in and doing some Drumeo stuff or whatever, and he walks in the live room, and there's Mike's full Dream Theater kit in there, and Mike's standing behind the door. They're like, yeah, we want you to learn and play Honor Thy Father for Father's Day, which is an insane. It's on Train of Thought, which to me is Dream Theater's more straightforward metal album. Really heavy songs, some crazy grooves, lots of sick fills, and that kid fucking nailed it, man.
Good.
So.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I love seeing people like push themselves and making it,
Right.
I don't know how much of that's canned, pre-done or whatever, but speaking of good stuff, that Coke bottle guy that I like, he sent me that he was playing Nothing Else Matters solo.
Yeah, dude, that was insane.
Jesus, man.
Matthias Schaefer,
Man, is that guy good.
the Brazilian with the German name.
Yeah, man. Jesus. is
He may
good.
be like Argentinian or something, which would make sense because there's a shitload of Germans in Argentina.
Yeah. Such a tasty player.
Yeah.
Jeez, Bo says he needs suggestions for a new guitar.
Build one. I'm doing.
What don't you have, Bo?
You go crazy. Get yourself a Tom Anderson or a Sir. Or I don't think you have any of those. Bo's more of a single cut guy, though. I think, isn't he?
Get you a. Do you have a Nags bow? I like those Nags Kanais. I think Tommy's got one or two of them.
The Nags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan played a couple of them, I guess, at Righteous, or it might have been Wendell's.
Right.
I think Wendell's a Nags dealer. And Ryan said he wasn't that impressed with them. I'm like, dude, I've played 3 or 4 of them fucking things, and they're awesome.
Yeah, I think Ryan's got a thing for what a Les Paul is, right?
Yeah, and see...
Any of the perceived improvements he sees as a weakness, maybe, or a detriment.
And, you know, that the Nags that I've played, I played a Doug Rappaport model, which is a Kanai, which is like the Nags Les Paul, and I've played a couple other in just stupidly flame tops with awesome colors. And, you know, Ryan's R9 is fucking great.
Chlamydia?
Yeah, that guitar is great, but those fucking Nags, man, there's something to them. Joe Nags has got it nailed, in my opinion.
Right.
In my opinion means nothing, so there's that.
I'm jealous of you guys down there. You've got such a wide selection of top shelf stuff to play.
Yeah, Tommy's got the Steve Stevens Kanai.
Nice. Says it plays itself.
Fuck off.
So are the necks on those similar to a Les Paul? Like a nice chunky neck and...
Yeah, they're all like... I mean, they've got that Les Paul chunkiness, but there's something about them to me that feel better. Maybe it's the lack of sticky fucking nitro on them.
Yeah.
And Dave's talking about Jimmy's girl. We need to get Kayla Ken on. We'll let Jimmy host.
I don't know who that is. Oh, that's the Pantera girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. She used to jam on LC's channel.
Well, she probably hates him, so that'll work. That works out too.
Oh, we got something in common.
I think, one of us should reach out to her. I know she can play, though. Holy smokes.
Yep. That she can. Who's a legend? Cucumber in the house?
Hey, buddy.
All right. Well, we have any interesting topics to talk about? Or are we here to play guitar, or what are we doing?
I know Sova was asking Jimmy for some corrosion, but there's time for that now or time for that later?
Bo, it just dawned on me. Get on one of those. Get on that Richie Kotzen auction and buy the horror guitar or his fucking 85 PRS serial number 121. You know, the thing about that PRS is this is not the first time he sold that guitar.
Oh, really? He did the full circle and now he's doing it again?
His dad bought him that guitar when he was 15, and he sold it sometime in the 90s and ended up getting it back a couple years later, buying it back from the guy he sold it to. And now he's selling it again.
Lucky what we got here.
I don't even have a sound clip to play for that. I don't have the dollar or the cents.
I don't have any of that. Our prodigal, producer. He's where is he? He's on the island. I think he's probably with Ken. Quentin fucking James, ladies and gentlemen. Going with the big, what is this? Super chat?
Yeah.
147.
Thank you, Quentin.
Universe.
Thank you, Quentin, for that $1.47. Appreciate it.
For
buddy.
that, you'll
Even though
get
he
a plug
asked
for your
for
show tomorrow at
$1.46.
6 p.m. specific.
Darren, if you want a pick slide competition, I'm gonna have to cheat and grab a pick out of the pick cupboard over here because my
Got a
picks,
stainless steel one right here.
my picks do not do great pick slides. They're a little too heavy for all that.
I don't do pick slides.
Grab one. We have to grab a 60 out of this drawer over here to do one.
Old Dave's starting a
Can
trend.
we get a $1.49? Anybody got a $1.49?
$1.49. Anybody got a $1.49?
Oh, what we got here? We got an extra light.
Excremite? Ooh, baby.
It just folded over. You want one with my pick? They don't do it. These old text glosses don't do pick slides well at all.
Are you back to race? I thought you were on a little bit of a pick journey, Randy.
No, I'm back to the greatest pick ever made.
See, now if you're gonna do the pick slides, that's the way. Because I know Jimmy does them in songs and stuff, and he'll. It's not just a, you know.
Well, you got to do it the Ed way. I mean, everybody and their brother says Ed does the best pick slides ever.
Yeah.
I mean, he just throws them in at random, like running with the devil.
Oh, I got up $1.49, $1.49. Anybody got $1.50, $1.50, $1.50?
That pig's trash.
Blue box. The $1.49
I don't
super.
even want to talk about that Canton Rd 55. I'm a diehard Braves fan. They're fucking horrible this year.
Blue will be featured on our Saturday night party night. Him and hopefully his lovely wife.
We need an answer to that. Dave's question to Quentin. Jade Guitars. What's up? What's up?
Hey, buddy.
What's happening? What's up? Good to see you. Oh, Mean Joe said, "How did the nitro finish go, and what guitar did you spray?"
Right.
I've got well, it looks cool to me if you like relics, but
Did it do anything?
yeah, there's like 6 lines in it. I left it in the truck all day at work because it was like, I think the high today was 96.
Oof. Those got to be like 110 in your truck, yeah?
Right, so I went out there and grabbed it out of the truck and immediately tried spraying it with the compressed air upside down and freezing spots, and I think I got 3 or 4 more. I just don't think that nitro that I used I don't think it's hardened enough yet to do it. I mean,
Stumax environmentally friendly nitro.
yeah, well, I mean, it says on the can to let it cure 14 to 20 days before you even fucking sand and buff it, so Saturday will be 14 days since I painted it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care. I'm just going to fucking put it together and roll with it. I am going to get some of that Monty's relic wax to darken the wood up that's exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
I'd send you some of mine, but probably have to pay a tariff of some kind.
Yeah. Well, I'll just
And
get it.
VAT, because it...
Well, I mean, FU Tone sells it, so.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
What does
Ooh.
Paul from Mile House Studios call it? Minge fudge.
And that reminds
that
me,
guy.
I did get the email today that Futon's doing a 20% off everything store wide email today. So
Put in UTB.
maybe I'll go ahead and order it up.
UTB 15
Floyd.
onto it.
I don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
What,
I did know the colored Floyd shit that Effington sells.
Right. Yeah.
If you want colored Floyd stuff, bolts and screws and all that shit, Monster Bolt on Amazon has it. And pretty much all the same colors for a fucking quarter of the price, and it's just as good, if not better.
He seems like he's pretty expensive, yeah?
To me, he is. Joe, it's already been in a deep freezer. It was in my deep freezer is negative 14 degrees. And yeah, it stayed overnight in the deep freezer for probably about 18 hours, and that's how I got the first 4 lines. So there's that.
Well, it makes it unique, Randy. It's you don't want a checkerboard.
What's up, Eileen?
What has happened? Welcome.
The new name. Welcome in.
Welcome in. Good to see you. All right, so we can't really do that due to latency issues. That's the only problem with this is if we're trying to do something like that, or else we'd have fucking drummers and shit on here too. But
Yeah.
the latency can vary anywhere from 10 milliseconds to 5 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds, and usually the human ear can't notice 5 milliseconds, but once you start getting over that 5 millisecond delay, it starts getting really noticeable. And I'm on the other side of the continent from John and Jimmy, really. So, Ryan and I are both in the Atlanta area, and John's in Vancouver, and Jimmy's in Montana. So there's sometimes nights John plays a backing track, and on the replay, I'll be a good 15. On time while I'm playing it, but once it goes through EVMux and YouTube and all that shit, I'm like 15 milliseconds off the beat. And it's really noticeable.
Really hits me when we do that drop C extravaganza.
Yeah. I usually don't have it when Ryan hosts the track, obviously.
Yeah.
So, no, the fuck we don't. Sova, I love you and we get along pretty well, but I ain't never in my life rooted for the fucking Detroit Tigers, bruh.
Baseball, yeah?
Yeah. We do that sometimes. It's easier when you have Trev here that can bounce everybody back and forth on the screen. So
It's been a minute since we've done any kind of stuff like that. Gotta be honest, boys, I'm enjoying just chatting.
well, this is what we did Tuesday. People pay good money to see us butcher guitar
Talk about
playing.
nothing.
So, what does the chat think? You want some more conversation?
Some music, or you want us to
some
keep
music?
rambling on?
We seem to always drop viewers when we play. I don't really know
That's
what
right.
that means.
I jumped in, it was 26, now we're up to 35. That's not because of me.
Right. We'll have Rob Blackmore being here and having me play Metallica riffs over and over again.
That's fun too. Shut up and play guitar. Well, that's Quentin, and he's the guy with 4 viewers usually at his peak, no?
We are holding guitars and we are plugged in. Which Dave wants Quentin to answer his question. Got it. Okay. But say I acknowledge you, and if I didn't,
Nobody's buying his metformin or Viagra.
John, Randy, and Jimmy, Elaine.
Last Caress. That's not a Metallica song.
From Laura's channel. Oh, that's cool. Excellent. Glad to see you. Did he? Aline? Aline?
Not a Steelheart song. Everybody loves Eileen.
Eileen.
Don't say it, John. Hit something. Oh, straight into that, huh?
brother. That may be me.
I can hear him fine. Keep playing, Jimmy. Get me off here. Get me off here. Good God.
That's a great sounding guitar, Randy.
Man, I don't have it in my fucking fingers tonight, so.
It's whatever, man. We're here. We're having fun. Who cares?
Right on.
The fun part's debatable. Is that what you're saying?
Y'all motherfuckers can shut up about me squinting. This monitor is like 6 feet in front of me, dude.
Squinty Squinterstein. I still do. Well, what the fuck is going on with my camera now?
I don't know. It did that the other night.
I know.
I used to squint when I used to refuse to wear my glasses when I first came on. Everybody's like, "Wake the fuck up, Jimmy."
And Dave, that body was sealed years ago when it was originally built and painted and all that crap. So, yeah, I don't know. It's with this camera, I have to sit so far back from the monitor. It's ridiculous. Like I've got the monitor scooted all the way back to the back of the desk, and I'm like, and I'm like 2 feet from the desk. That's why I have to lean forward to reach and grab the mouse. It's way over here.
Yeah.
But if I sit up close where I can see the monitor, all you can see is my big head. And then everybody goes, "We can't see the guitar."
So have to go get yourself some styling glasses, dude.
Who?
You.
I ain't wearing fucking glasses.
Oh, you're one of those.
I wore I have my reasons.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I wore
Are
glasses.
you a contact guy?
Oh, fuck no. I can't stand touching my eye.
Yeah, same. I hate that.
I wore glasses from the time that I was born until 10 years old, until I had corrective surgery.
Right.
And I didn't have a vision problem. I was born with strabismus, so I looked like Pete Thorne.
Oh, yeah. You got yourself fixed.
And I had the laser corrective surgery for strabismus when I was like 10.
Huh.
So
pretty good.
my eyes are fucking straight. Now I just can't see anymore. It was crazy. The optometrist and all that shit would be like, "Well, you're cross-eyed, but you got 20/20."
It's all those jokes of, one looking this way and one looking that way.
Well, my left eye was kind of like Pete's. It turned into my nose.
I remember Pete telling a story when he first met Eddie Van Halen. Ed looked at him, deadpanned him, and he says, "So which one do I look at?" And Pete said that was the best icebreaker anybody could ever done with him, especially with your hero like that, right?
I can believe it.
That dirty, no good, rotten bastard. He's playing with Steve and Joe.
Yep.
That's, yeah. He's so good, man. That's another one, man.
He's definitely put the work in.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like old school good, if that makes sense. You don't see him doing these massive sweeps and he can do it. He's done it. I've watched him do it. But he's like a blues player that can play pretty much everything.
Meat and taters.
Yeah, but like stupid good.
Right? Real quick. Chuck fucking Verde's here.
What's up, Charles?
What is up, Charles? Good to see you, brother.
Jimmy Charles wants us to help him get his stuff set
We'll jump on. We'll do it right now.
sometime next week. After the holidays, what he told me.
Holiday, right? July 4th.
Yeah.
I'm sure
And then-
he'll have questions, and we'll have just as many.
Right. And then everybody's favorite firefighter, Station 5 Chattanooga.
Andy Carson.
Fuck them redcoats.
Suck it, England.
That's what I said earlier before So was here. Happy Independence Day to all you Americans that are not communists, but
So you guys are, well, never mind. Randy, you're off tomorrow then.
yeah.
Do you get Monday off too or no?
The fuck will we get Monday off for?
I don't know. July 4th seems to be a big fucking deal in the States.
Yeah, that's why we're closed at July 4th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're closed tomorrow.
Holy Christ. That is serious, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like one of the 7 major calendar holidays in
Right.
the United States.
It's not a bank
4th.
holiday.
I mean,
it's
and
a
it's on a
fucking.
Friday, so everybody has. What the fuck do I want
I
to go
feel
to work for?
I feel bad for the. That's why the joke was last week is like I always hate working Saturdays and I have to work every 3rd, so I'm off 2 on 1, and I was like dreading it, and I was like, well, at least I don't have to work next Saturday because nothing will fuck up a Friday off like having to come in on a Saturday.
Well, that's what happened to me this week. We had Tuesday off for Canada Day. So it's like, okay, go to work on Monday, day off, and it's like today really feels like Tuesday, and it's fucking
Right.
Thursday. But
Today had those Friday vibes by about lunchtime, so everybody was kind of like, "Fuck it."
you guys go for a hot lunch and
Oh wait,
get out.
me and my buddy Pat usually go eat lunch on Thursdays and Fridays.
Right.
Usually hit the Mexican joint up on Thursdays and the barbecue joint up on Fridays. And we just moved it back a day, so we had Mexican yesterday and barbecue today. So
I got a serious hankering for some Mexican.
I left a little bit early today. I was gonna leave even earlier, but I had one car I still had to make some form of a preliminary diagnosis on.
Yep.
I told the boss when I got back, I said, I was like, "Hey, fucker," and he walked over there, and I said, "You know what? I'm gonna leave early today just because I fucking want to. No reason other than that." And he just kind of started laughing. He goes, "I don't give a fuck if you leave early. See ya." I was like, "I'll probably."
Lack of interest.
Sorry, I told him one morning I was running late. He's like, "You're late." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry about that, man. I didn't want to come."
I tried my damnedest to stay away, but
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Sometimes you got to take a sick day when you feel good.
right.
So,
Yeah, that's the truth, ain't it, Bo?
Jimmy's self-employed too. Wish I was self-employed. Andy says he took off from the firehouse Saturday. His son came to town.
Nice.
There you go, bud.
He's coming to town? Yeah. Oh, so maybe you jump on Andy.
Said he came to town.
Came. All right. The past tense of come.
Yeah, see, Bo got it. I mean, Blue Mox got it, and he took the day off for that exact reason. Cool. Cool.
Jimmy. You finally got that thing strung up, and the last time we saw it, it was a placeholder for your balls, right?
Pretty much.
So, anything interesting, or was it smooth sailing?
Nope, smooth sailing. Next perfect. It's got, like, right now the action is like ultra low and no buzzing or choking out. It's like 0.6 millimeters at the 12th fret on the first string and 1.2 on the 12th fret at the 6th string. So it's
Nice.
just
The laying on the frets.
Yeah, you just barely put your hand on it and it's fretting, but it's like, I mean, it's just amazing how sometimes, which is odd because it's got jumbo frets, and usually I can't do that with jumbo frets, but no, it plays exactly like the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's surprising these old, this neck is, from 87,
Hey.
so it's, what, 37 years old, 38 years old?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, and they weren't, you could tell that they weren't, both these necks, I think they both came from England.
Right. So Steve Brand might have worked on him. He was a...
And,
Yeah, Steve worked on every Ibanez in England.
Well, he was
were-
an Ibanez guy.
they were not taken care of, to say the least.
Oh, no.
And I was like, ugh. I mean, the one that's on the green one,
Yeah.
it it had an unbelievable amount of goo on it. I unwrapped it, and it, because they were just, here's next, so I just bought them just to have them, future project stuff. And the one, I took it out and I was immediately just grossed out because it just had this disgusting thick layer of fingered cheese.
Don't play any of my necks.
English grease.
There's a dirty neck, and then there was just
Disgusting.
Disgusting. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not really down to, who knows what's on there. It came from England, so it's a good chance there might be plague somewhere on that.
Plague and fish and chips juice.
Yeah,
Full
Malt
English,
vinegar.
English breakfast with beans.
you could tell
Blood
that they
pudding.
weren't this, especially at this one where I just did a fret level on it, but you could tell it had sat around so long.
Right.
That rosewood, if left untreated or uncared for, it'll basically just start just disappearing.
Right.
As you start getting heavy grain. Well, it's basically the wood's just going away and it turns really soft. And
Right.
the other one, I refretted that one. That was the nasty one. And
6105 wire.
I ended up sanding all of it off, and I took a considerable amount off that rosewood to clean up all the basically all the crap all the soft top off it. Just basically was oxidizing away.
So when you do that, do you have like a profiled sander?
Yes.
Because you're 16 or whatever, right? Or
Yeah, these two necks are 12-inch
Oh, okay. A little more
radius on it.
reasonable.
So I have blocks with from 7 and a quarter or 7.5 to 20. And I just put the old PSA paper on it and just start.
And that takes the fret markers down too, I guess, as you go.
I'm not hogging away on it. You're just trying to take enough off to get back down to, down to decent smooth wood. This one I didn't do anything, so I just kind of sit there with little rolls of paper on beefed up with some tape on the back of it, and just kind of, because I don't like, I hate sanding this way, because you cross sand something, it's a bitch to get those cross sanding marks out. So everything, you get down here and it's just like, gotta have, that patience and just sit there and keep working at it.
Something I have very little of when it comes to that stuff.
So, but all the effort was worth it, because it's the neck just, it's just plays freaking gorgeous.
That's awesome, man. And the tone zone, yeah.
Yep, Tone Zone, Air Norton, and I was kind of waiting to see what the guitar would sound like to decide if I wanted coil splits or not. And so I just went with originally had a push on there, and something was happening. I didn't like the sound of it, and so I started going through my bin of switching pots, and I came across on the bottom of the box. I had this. It's actually a high-end CTS.
Okay. Yeah.
Push pull.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, I'll use that one. And that one was it. So it has a 561 picofarad capacitor on the hot and output legs of the pot. And
So that makes it a little brighter
and
then,
so,
or what?
Well, it's when you roll it's basically, it's a treble bleed.
Right.
And since I know CTS.
Hey, brother, how are you?
What's up, Sean? CTS gets a lot, a bad rap for, because they do make some shitty pots. But this was like this was one of their, like, the high-end primo jobbies, and it works. You roll it off, and it's got, has a good roll-off on it.
Yeah.
You get to about 5.5 on it, and then that, that capacitor kicks in.
Right.
And starts to clean it up, and it worked out really great. So I was like, well, I can roll it back enough, and it, it's not, piercing or anything. So gets kind of will get the twangy
bit.
But still have a little bit of girth to it.
I've had
so
a
it
hell
worked
of
out
a
great.
time getting in my parts guitar getting a treble bleed that works. They're great in the Surs, but yeah, that Steve put in, the looks like a little fucking ohm sign, those little things.
Yep.
Garbage. Cut them out.
Yeah. So like on my SLO module is the treble bleeds work great on the SLO module, and the BE side of the other module,
Right.
but they do not work worth a shit with the Ubershaw module.
Right.
It's just the sound just collapses and it just sounds like hot trash.
Hot fucking trash.
But there's 100 ways to, you have all these values. I have a little bin of, different valued capacitors, and then along with resistors, because you can, either put a 100K resistor in parallel across the legs, or whatever value. It's just, it's one of those things where you can just sit there and make a bunch of them, and then just wire them in. And
I know in my other one, when we took the pick guard off of it, it's got it's about that long, and it's yellow and it's round, and that's the treble bleed circuit or whatever it was. It works really
it's
good.
It's got one in series.
I guess I don't know anything about that, but it does what you would want it to do.
Right. Yeah. Now guitars, like the same values. They're all doing something a little bit different as far as pumping out whatever EQ curve that the guitar as a whole has.
Yeah.
And so you just have to sit there and play with different values until you find the one that you like the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
That makes sense.
Robbie, you still here, bud? Robbie Blackmore, official. El Roberto Blackmore.
Robbie Conqueso.
Robbie Conqueso. Blackmore.
So are you happy with that's basswood, that body?
Nope.
Ash.
One piece maple.
Maple. Ooh.
Nice and heavy.
She's this one also weighs this one weighs 9 pounds 8 ounces. The other one weighs 9 pounds 6 ounces.
I need to weigh that. Northern Ash body when I get that thing put together, because it's heavy as fuck too. But we'll do this. I'm getting bored. Just saying.
Okay.
I gotta stay awake. I'm gonna do this.
I was just gonna invite Jimmy to do a corrosion song or something, but
I'm gonna bust this one out for Rob real
Okay.
quick.
I'm gonna take a minute.
Rob, you already know what it is.
And the
No applause for me. No applause for me. All right. Well, there's that. There you go, Rob. Sorry I butchered the solo. I ain't got it in my fingers tonight. Your turn, Jimmy.
Alrighty then.
Jimmy bye to everybody. Hell yeah. Take it easy, Robbie.
See you, Rob.
See you Saturday
Yeah,
night.
Robbie.
That's a great song.
Love it.
And not just because Hetfield's on it.
No, that's the icing on the cake.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Trying to see what I missed in the chat. A bunch of people saying up the irons. I tried to light them up. Yeah, I have a plethora of Carhartt shirts, cakes in. Just unfortunately, all mine are too big now, so they like just hang off of me. Got to get some new ones. Everybody's saying how great Jimmy's cover is.
Yeah, awesome.
Tommy, that's not what she said. It's all right. Tell you the same thing. I'll get you next time. Blue Mock said that was killer tone, Jimmy. Was.
Yeah, it sounded
that's still the
great, Jim.
That's still the Ubershaw.
Nope, that was the SLO2 module.
Nice.
It definitely sounds different with the SD1 in front of it.
Yes, it does.
And then hopefully next week we'll see what this other pedal that I got coming will sound like in front of them.
I gotta get a new wah. This fucking crybaby I've got is fucked up. It's the switch is all goofed up on it. I tried cleaning it out with some compressed air and contact cleaner, and it's still all goofed up. It turns on, but you have to stomp the shit out of it to turn it on, which has always kind of been my beef with crybabies. Is the toe switch on them isn't as good as like a Vox or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still gonna try the vacuum switch instead of the clicker. Just need to source one with the it's like a 3-pole 3 on there.
I've been looking at the
You're right, Blue. I had the exotic wah. The thing was great, but I couldn't turn the fucking thing on.
I've been looking at, because I'm a big Joe Holmes fan, and I mean, everybody and their brothers used Vox, but I like his wah sound. And he uses what the old Vox, the 864.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a hand-wired version of it now, and they have for the last few years, and it's fucking double price, but of course, because it's hand-wired. But I've been looking at those. I've been looking at the Bad Horsey, because I had a Mark Tremonti Morley Power Wah for years, and I love not having a switch. You just put your foot on it, and it turns on. You take your foot off of it, and it turns off. But
spring loaded, yeah.
yeah. But Morley doesn't make the Tremonti Wah anymore because he started his own pedal company and he's out, road testing the protos. But so I don't know. I'm kind of curious what he's gonna have coming. But I like the newer Bad Horses are pedal board sized. They're not like those Dunlop mini Wahs, but
those are ridiculous.
They're fucking don't take up 5 pedal slots on a pedal board, the new 2020 Morleys. And so I've been looking at a Bad Horsey, I've been looking at the Vox. Actually been looking at the Cantrell Wah, but once again we're back in the problem with the Dunlop toe switches. And the Vox has got that switch, but I don't ever read or hear of anybody having problems with the switch on the Vox Wahs like you do the Dunlops. So
It seems like the crybabies are almost disposable.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
What, less than $100?
Yeah.
No, they're well. It depends. If you get like an artist model, or they're right at $200.
Yeah. I don't know. My first 95 lasted me, what, 12 years?
Right.
Well, I had a
Just went to shit.
535Q that I used forever until I got that Tremonti wah.
Right.
And I finally just wore that Tremonti wah out. But I mean, fuck, dude, that thing played gigs all over the damn East Coast and Southeast. So had a lot of use. And, you know, I'll throw it out there and I'll get shit for it. But I actually like Kirk Hammett's wah sound from the late 80s to the Black Album. And really even into like the Load and Reload era. It had that nice, like, almost like somebody vomiting sound. And I always thought that was cool, but it's like $200 for another Dunlop. I mean, you could always get the rack wah and use some other type of expression pedal to
Controller.
control it. But
Yeah.
that's the thing about the Petrucci wah, is it's the fucking rack wah in a pedal.
Right. That's what's got all those dip switches and stuff.
Yeah, that, I mean,
The trim
during
bots.
that during that time that you know, like Hammett's wah sound, what amps was he playing?
Oogie, wasn't it?
Yeah, boogies.
Yeah, 'cause I've noticed that, you know, my wah pedal sounds different through different amps.
Well, it sounds different from running it through this Knuckles pedal versus the Synergy.
Yeah, yeah. Wahs are sensitive.
But I mean, something is fucked up because I can bump it with my foot, and
Yeah.
that's just me bumping the side of the pedal. So
That's not good.
I think it's the switch. But yeah, I've been looking at wahs because I like me a wah.
Wah is good.
I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna shoot for the Vox, the 864 hand wire. It's 864 or 846, one of the two. I think it's maybe the 846. But I was listening to that Joe Holmes Pharmacos record, man, and he's fucking A. If anybody out there hasn't listened to Joe Holmes Pharmacos record, he's got it all on all your streaming platforms now. Because he used to only have like 2 songs of it up. And then he's put out 4 new singles from his new album. The last one come out, last week? That tune's a banger. But that guy is just a monster fucking guitar player that nobody knows about. You know, and he's been around since the 80s. He played in Lizzie Borden. And then when Jason Becker got diagnosed with ALS, he did that, what was that, Little Ain't Enough tour?
Right. Yeah.
With Dave Roth, and then from David Lee Roth, he played with Ozzy for most of the 90s, and kind of fell off the map there. And he put a record out called Pharmacos in like 2015, and it's just fucking great. He's got a great singer. Guy kind of sounds like a mix of Richie Kotzen meets Chris Cornell meets Ian Thornley, kind of voice.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that, you know, Mike Borden and fucking Rob Trujillo are playing drums and bass on it either. So
Yeah, I'll check it out, Todd. Thanks for the recommendation.
which album is that?
Fall from Grace.
Okay. I saw somebody talking about Ex Hoarder.
Yeah.
It's Dave, of course. That's yeah, got Marzi in there. Marzi played with Phil and the Illegals. Then Ex Hoarder after that. That dude's a fucking super good shredder guitar player too. He's got a pretty unique fucking thing. It's like Dimebag meets I don't know what. But I'm pretty sure him and Dime were buddies, so yeah, Marzi's pretty fucking awesome. He had like a custom shop Firebird with a white Firebird with a Floyd on it. And
Oh boy.
then I think he's playing Ola's shit now, the solar guitars. I think he's got a signature solar model now.
Is he doing anything? Ola?
Yeah, the Haunted just put out a new record
No.
like a couple weeks ago. Sounds like the Haunted. It's funny if you ever listen to a lot of those new wave American heavy metal bands, especially Lamb of God. Lamb of God borrows heavily from the Haunted in a lot of their riffs.
You see Herman Lee with
Ola.
hanging with Ola.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guitar sounded like shit. At least through that Marshall.
Right. Well, you know what? That's the thing with Ola and Marshalls. Ola's never been a Marshall guy. Even back when he, years ago when he didn't speak in videos, he just did amp demos with his own music. I think the only Marshall he ever did was the JVM 410. And he even said in the video description, he's like, I'm never been a Marshall guy. I can't get them to sound good for what I do, for my playing style. And I've kind of always been that, in my mind the same way. I can play Marshall variants, like Friedman's and shit like that, and I'm great, in my mind. Or a EL34 5150 or something that's in that Marshall vein.
Right.
But as for like trying to dial up a 800 or a 900 or something like that, I've never been satisfied with it. But a lot of my favorite guitar tones are fucking Marshalls. All the early Van Halen shit.
Yeah.
I love Joe Holmes' guitar tone. That's a Jose Plexi 71 modded super lead. I think part of Holmes's tone is, he doesn't run an SD1 or something in front of it. His Jose mod also has the insert loop.
The effects loop, yeah.
Well, it's got an insert loop that's not the effects loop. It's an added insert loop, and he runs his PCM 42 or 41.
Right.
And Tommy pointed out the other week that the 42 and 41 had the
preamp in it.
yeah, the preamp, so he uses it for gain boost. It's like an added gain stage, putting it in that insert loop. And if you
So
run
the
it in
insert loop goes after the preamp tubes?
yes,
Right. And before so it's basically a preamp.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, the way it's ran, I found Dave posted, it was on like Rig Talk forums or something years ago. I found the article or the post about it, and back when Dave was just known as Rack Systems. He had posted a diagram he had drawn out of how Joe ran his setup with that 71 Super Lead. And he's like, if you hook that PCM up anywhere else, it's not going to sound right or do the same thing.
Well, those sound pretty sick.
Dude, that fucking Club Secret amp sounds great too, but if I were to buy a head first, it would definitely be an Evil Joe. That amp sounds so fucking good. It's insane.
Oh, I saw that Mr. Tong just introduced the Alta version 2.
Yeah. It's the same.
Yeah, he's just marketing them. He's just putting them in all his posts now. That's the Alta 100 V2. Yeah, it's the same amp. John's amp's a V2.
He's got the they do, like, he came over, he just left a week or two ago. He did a run with Shay here, and he had one extra. That's what that was. He had one left from the run.
Who's gonna buy it?
Yes, Blue. Yeah, I'm done. I'm happy.
And Tommy says I need a modded super lead. I need modded super lead money. I guess if I were going to do that, I'd just buy the Jose. The Friedman Jose.
No,
I mean,
it doesn't Metropolis do a really good one? I think Tommy has one of them.
I don't know. Every demo I've seen of that Jose amp to me sounds really fucking good. Misha had that thing chugging, but I'm sure he had his precision drive pedal in front of it. But
Right. Yeah, no, it sounds good.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the like I thought I would be of the Jakey Lee heads either.
You played one, yeah? Yeah, it's pretty immediate and dry and bright.
But were you able to crank it?
Oh yeah, the my
Crank
local
it on 10?
yes, my local music store that Willie does the repair work for. The owner John, he was borrowing one. He plays in like I call it a corporate band. They play big, paid corporate gigs, outdoor fucking town festivals and shit. And
Make some coin.
yeah, and he his drum teacher up there is like the band leader,
Right.
and John's the guitar player, and he had one in there that he had on loan from somebody. I mean, because he's been using the 50-watt EL34 EVH and a 212.
Right.
Well, a buddy of his is like, man, I got this 50-watt Jakey Lee, and I went in there a few weeks ago and had it hooked to an old 1960A Marshall cab, and we fucking about blew the windows out of that place. And I was just like, man, it's got this fucking nasally thing that just
That's the Marshall, dude. That's the thing, like with the Jose. Like I dial it back a little bit here, but it doesn't have the Friedman amp. That was my one thing with the 100. It didn't have that Marshall Kerrang or the high end. I call it plate voltage. Sounds like fucking something's cooking in there.
well, it's like Dave described it when that first EVH deep dive him and Pete did. He goes, they've got this crashing sound.
Yes.
And Ed's amp didn't have that because it had a 50K mid pot.
Right.
When you turn everything up, it's got a crashing fucking sound to it. And that to me was pretty present in that 50-watt JEL head.
Right.
I don't know if the 100-watt, I assume the 100-watt probably does it too, but and even John noticed it. And he's been a JCM 800 dude his whole life.
Yeah.
JCM 800 SD1.
Yeah.
And even he was like, man, it's got too much of like this
It's
fucking
overcooked a bit.
this nasally fucking high mid thing going on.
Right.
Not honky, but just like nasal sounding.
Well, you have to think, right? Because Jake's an old guy and he's done a lot of touring with really loud amps. And he was the guy that, tuned the thing with Dave.
Right.
So I often wonder about that,
Dave Ryan's got a double J Junior he may end up selling.
Well, what's funny is that, on, the Badlands albums, is everybody's like, oh, that's such a great fucking tone. And Jake, and they're like, what amp do you use, Jake? And he's like, yeah, a 900. The amp that everybody shit on.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a 900 over a fucking 2000 any day. Well, I guess it depends if it was a DSL or a TSL.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played those.
One of the two of the JCM 2000, I think it's the TSL, sounds like shit. The DSL is not too bad. I don't know. The only Marshall head I've played through for a period of time that I could dial something in that I enjoyed was the JVM 410.
Right.
I played through one of those, remember the Mode 4s they come out with in the early 2000s? It was like like half solid state.
Yeah.
Those things sounded fucking terrible.
Yeah, but it had a good cab with it, though.
Yeah. If you had the matching cab, that made all the difference with that in the world. So,
I always thought I would be a plexi guy, but I grew up.
they're stiff, bro.
Well, when I was playing in original bands and stuff, I had a 77 JMP, and then I had an 800, and I thought, well, plexi is even better, right? No, not at all. And I mean, that's why I'm so in love with this thing, because it's a JMP early 800 with all the bullshit.
Bells
on it,
and
right?
whistles and mods and all that shit you
Yeah.
could ever imagine.
But yeah, no, I love the sound of a Plexi, but I'm not a good enough player to play one.
I don't think I've ever played a real Plexi. I've played a JMP, I've played 800s, I've played 900s, 2000s, and this is what's stupid. If I could go back and play an 800 with an SD1 in front of it instead of a fucking tube screamer, I might change my mind. I think that might, for what I like gain wise and tone wise, you've got to have an overdrive in front of an 800 for me. And I always ran tube screamers, and I borrowed my buddy's 800. It was like a 87, 86, 800 stock. And the tube screamer in front of it sounded fucking horrible. And I think it's like, then you realize, like, oh, all those 800 tones that I like more than likely had SD1s in front of it. So I tell you what, 800 I've heard, I would love to hear in person because it sounds fucking great on his videos, is the Bad Boy.
What is that?
Hi.
Hi. That's his modded 84 JCM 800. Every fucking video he plays that in, that amp sounds amazing.
I will say this: an 800 doesn't feel like it sounds.
No,
If that makes any sense.
no, it does not.
Like an 800 or a JMP is about as honest of an amp I can feel comfortable playing. But they sound warm, and they can sound like, oh my God, it sounds massive and huge. But it's not something that you gonna be easy under the fingers necessarily.
Right.
But then you get used to it, and I mean, I'm used to this, and there's fuck all for compression. You put the Jose clip on, or the clipping thing, and it softens up a bit. But if you put more shit on it, everything gets, it's easier to play, but it's smaller.
For sure, Todd. I think, Ola was always my favorite guitar YouTube guy forever. And I would say right now it's definitely, hi, I'm Elga Valavirta. Yuji. I believe in America they say it, Yuji.
Exactly, Tommy. And I think too, getting older, I stepped off the heavy tones and all that, at Seven Dust, and that was, anything beyond that is
Well, those early Seven Dust records were Mark IVs.
right. Just as I said, once it got crazy, to me, I mean, the Seven Dust still sounded fucking great. You know what I mean? Once they started tuning down to,
They've always been in B. They had
no,
a little. They
not
had
them. I'm saying like the Meshuggahs and the
8-string and all that
and all
shit.
that.
Yeah.
No, it was like no. But I'm old, so I don't care.
I would like to give one of those Fortin. The Killer Cali, which is what the Meshuggah Fortin amp is based off of.
Right.
I've played a variant of that. When Ola, the second tour he came through with 6 Feet Under, he was playing a Fortin modded JMP, which I think was an early Killer Cali mod. That fucking amp sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was far from anything stock Marshall. So. Does anybody know what happened to Kent? No. No clue. I don't even know who that is, actually.
Still wondering where Keith Campbell's at.
Drop penis. I hear he needs somebody put some on his books or something. Yeah, I don't know. I want to go back to a real amp. Just kind of looking at options for next year.
I get the
Maybe.
sense that you're like a 6L6 kind of guy, though. You like that.
Every fucking thing I've tube amp wise I've owned's been a 6L6 amp.
Yeah.
But there's something like when I hear other people play EL34 amps, is fucking like there's that fucking that mid range kind of that teeth that chunk in the mids that the EL34s have that the 6L6s don't.
And I don't think it's strictly a tube thing. It's a circuit thing too, right?
Right.
I mean, they're designed to that circuit. But
You know.
that the 6L6s, they're a little more. Well, those designed amps, they seem a little bigger in the bottom and fuller, and
Yeah, they're way warmer and
Yeah.
way more compressed right
Yeah.
off the rip.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I started out, first tube amp I ever had was a fucking rectifier, triple rectifier,
150 watts.
150 watts. If you can't turn the volume past 1.5,
No. 6L6 has more headroom.
Yep,
They do.
yes.
Yeah.
I sold it for what, 51, 52. Still got it. Collecting dust and storage.
I'd like to try. If it wasn't so expensive, I would. Just for shits and giggles, put some KT88s in this thing. Because apparently that's Marshall's best friend almost is KT88s.
You can do that with Bogner's.
This'll swap straight across. Use a bias, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I guess that the Ubershaw Ultra, you can get it with the L34s, 6L6s, or KT88s.
Right.
But I know Tremonti there for a while, 15 years or so ago, he was running, because he's always ran 2 amps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's always blended 2 amps, and it's always been a triple or a dual rectifier with something else. And for a while there, he was blending it with a 6L6 Ubershaw, and then would kick on a different Ubershaw for his lead tone that was a KT88 Ubershaw. And then he swapped them out and started using like a 2-rock and then a Bluto tone and all these kind of boutique dumbly amps for his lead tone. And the KT88 Ubershaw started running for the rhythm tone with the Mesa. And then he just kind of went back to a stock EL34 Ubershaw he ditched the triple and went back to a dual rectifier.
Right. Now I've heard Dave talk about it, Friedman, and he says it's like the KT88 is, because I find like the Marshall circuit with the EL34s, it's like the sound is completely around your strings. It's not like
Right.
you're playing clean into a dirty thing. It's like it's completely wrapped around, if that makes sense. And the KT88's just a little warmer of a hug around your strings as you play, so it gets that,
Right.
But I don't know. I'm happy as fuck the way it is. And KT88s for a quad set, I think, is probably $500, right?
Probably.
Matched.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I look every now and then on Tube Amp Doctor.
Brian Peterson, I saw it. Where'd it go? Bam! What's your favorite made in Japan Charvel? This one.
That one.
This be it.
Is that the one you got that was played to hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a 2011 San Dimas that I did some serious alterations to make it kind of look like the old pre-pro stuff. But this guitar, when did I buy this? Back in like February? Something like that?
I think so.
I think I bought this back in February on Reverb, and this guitar has been toured all over the place. I mean, look how dark the fucking neck is. It's been seriously played.
It seriously looks like a pro guitar, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, this guitar's had the absolute shit played out of it, and the neck's nice and broke in. The fingerboard edges are pretty rolled. Jumbo frets on it are still in good shape.
Nickel?
Yeah, yeah. None of this shit had stainless steel. I don't like stainless steel fucking frets. I ain't buying shit with stainless steel. Fuck your stainless steel frets. I've had 2 guitars with stainless steel frets that had this fucking pinging noise that would not go away.
Yeah, so if you transfer that to
it's
to Canadian, that's 500.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is it. This is my favorite made in Japan. Now my black SoCal's pretty up there now that it's been redone and fret job and all that shit. But yeah, I did this one and found some vintage period correct brass Charvel knobs. Put the 84 reissue Floyd on it. And tone zone, and this is the liquefier in the neck of this thing. So, yeah, this guitar is awesome.
You don't play very much anymore.
I played it the other night.
Is that, yeah?
Yeah. What? Saturday night. I played it Saturday night. I go through things where I want to, like phases where I want to play a specific guitar for a while. When I got my black SoCal back, when I did the black and green thing, I played it pretty much constantly there for a month or so, then went back to this, and then I got on the kick with playing my Lynch guitar because I really like the neck on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure once the new one's done, I'll be playing the fuck out of it, and you won't really see me play much else either, so.
That's funny. Tommy's talking about that. The last 6 months, he's only played one guitar exclusively. And I kind of get that, because I go through that, like, between the Blue Sur and this one. And I mean, this one's just, it's the one right now. But I mean, for the first 6 months, it was that one, so who knows? But yeah, I get it, man. It feels like a pair of gloves on your hands. To me.
Yeah, this guitar is just, you know how guitars get when they've been played a lot.
Yeah.
It's just got a thing. I mean, I played it on the show the day I unboxed it, and it was set up like shit, had different pickups in it and all that, and it still sounded fucking great. See, where did see? He likes all the Japanese guitars I've owned. See, I owned a Japanese Wolfgang, a 2010 Tobacco Burst, and that was one of the guitars with the stainless frets that made that one made it the loudest, that god awful pinging noise. And Ryan thought I was crazy, and then we played that Pete Thorne, the HSS Pete Thorne Surrey Guitar Center, and he's like, "What the fuck is that weird noise?" I'm like, the stainless steel frets. And not all of them do it, but I've had 2 out of 3 guitars with stainless steel frets that did it, and it was enough to I'll just stick with nickel.
I think that's more to do with the setup than frets.
No, the fuck it ain't neither.
Really, eh?
No, dude, my Wolfgang was perfect setup. That JP 16 I had, it had stainless steel frets, and that's the one that didn't do it. But I've had 2 Wolfgangs. Actually, you know what? That 94 EVH Music Man I had, the guy I bought it from had it refretted with stainless steel frets, and it fucking did it too, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of a fanboy too, buddy. That's the part they don't talk about.
Yeah, Dave, that's the one I sold to Warlag. He fucking loves that guitar. And the thing is, when you're playing on the overdrive and you got some gain on it, you don't really hear it. But if you roll the volume back and it's just kind of crunchy, or you're playing on the a clean channel, it's just like fucking annoying. It almost sounds like fret buzz, but it's a pinging noise.
And you don't think that's dialed out with a neck
No.
adjustment or no?
No. Nope.
I've been lucky.
Nope. I had Willie go through that Wolfgang. I'm like, dude, it's making this fucking noise. And he's like, oh, it may have a high fret. It may this, may that. And I think the next day he called me. He's like, dude, I've got this thing dialed the fuck in. And he's like, I've heard stainless steel frets do this on certain guitars. He's like, it's the stainless steel frets. So I'm like, yeah, it just sounds like you can't fix the shit. Because that was like when I was first starting to deal with him.
Right.
And I did a lot of research on it, and it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have bitched about it.
Yeah, that's terrible. Because I mean, fuck me.
Yeah, see, Tom
How do you
knows.
fix that?
Refret it with a different set of stainless steel frets, I guess. I don't know. But it's literally like it's not a buzz, it's a pinging noise. It's a very light pinging noise that you can really hear it if you're playing on a clean tone with delay and verb.
Right.
You can really fucking hear it. And if you're just kind of like edge of breakup, maybe a little bit more, you can hear it. But if you're playing full gain, you'll never hear it.
Right.
But if you're playing, it's really fucking loud if you're playing it unplugged. So, but yeah, I've had 2 guitars that did that shit, and I was like, that's just enough for me to go fuck stainless steel
That's
frets.
fair enough. Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go, Tom.
Yeah, Steve is a fucking ripper, man.
It's really high pitched, but it is like a ping. And, you know, I that's my thing. It's like when I ordered that neck for that guitar, I mean, stainless steel is an option. Nope, give me nickel.
Well, I mean, come on. Nickel frets been on guitars since fucking there's frets on guitars, right? And
Exactly.
they work just fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
I mean, there's different grades of nickel, just like there's different grades of stainless steel.
Right.
All these affordable guitars with stainless steel frets, they don't have the, you know, the bomber stainless steel. They got the cheap stainless steel on them.
Right.
Hard nickel frets, like a Dunlop hard nickel, that'll last you quite a while.
Yep. No, Todd, it was on all 6 strings.
Oof.
It's not like a high fret or something like that. I mean, I had Willie straighten that neck completely straight and put a fret rocker on it, and he's like, they're level. I mean, it's a Japanese built guitar. I mean, 9 out of 10 Japanese built guitars are fucking stellar for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's back when the Japanese Wolfgangs were on par with the USAs. They were almost identical,
Well,
Say-
Sorry, go ahead, man.
save for an arch top and 3-ply binding instead of 5-ply and a non-tilt headstock.
Right. No, I was talking about getting a different neck for my parts guitar, and I've heard it. Maybe you saying it enough for it. I would just go nickel, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. 6100s.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah, see, Tom knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's unique sounding. It's like fret buzz kind of thing, like but really high pitched and not fret buzz. So
it's a unique sounding ping. There you go.
yeah,
Unmistakable if you hear it in person.
exactly, because that's like when we played that Pete Thorne at Guitar Center. Ryan's like, "What?" He goes, "What the fuck is that noise?" He's like, "I've never heard that noise before." And I walked over there, and he was playing. I'm like, "Oh, that's the pinging of the stainless steel frets."
Huh.
And he's like, "Oh, I just thought you were like retarded or something when you were telling me that." And I'm like, "Nope, that's exactly what that noise is." So,
And I don't know, like if I ordered anything with a stainless, like high end guitar in it, pung, is that the past tense of ping?
I guess.
It's
It
like,
pang.
oh, this is, yeah, I'd be fucking Jay Hanning in that thing, man. No fucking thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not the reason I sold that Wolfgang. I sold that Wolfgang because, well, I'm a big dude and those guitars are fucking tiny. Same reason I sold that EVH Music Man. Everyone says I'm stupid for selling it, but I made like $2,000 on that sale, so I'm not going to keep a guitar that I'm never going to play or it's uncomfortable for me to play because it's too small. I feel like I have to like compress myself to play those fucking things.
You know, I don't know if it's getting older or whatever, but do whatever the fuck makes you happy, man.
Exactly.
You don't like it, don't fucking play it just because it's a desirable instrument. Like, you know, I love Sirs. You don't like it, don't fucking like it. I don't give a shit. It's all good, but they are small.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, they're tiny, Todd. I mean, if you stick one right next to a fucking Strat, and you can see the size difference. I mean, it's 25.5-inch scale, but the neck sits deeper into the body. The headstock's short as can be, and those necks are not. I like wider necks, and those necks. I think the Wolfgangs are an R2. They're not an R3 like the Stripe series. They're an R2.
Right.
Those necks are not. I mean, the chunkiness and the asymmetrical carve is nice, but
They're just not wide enough.
no, they're nowhere near wide enough for me. I pull push and pull the E strings off those necks
Yeah.
the whole time I'm playing them. I mean, that's the whole reason I sold that JP16 is the neck's not fucking wide enough. I was pleasantly surprised when I picked up that Rabia model. Other than the fucking truss rod was shaped like the neck was like set up like a horseshoe. And the truss rod needed to be tightened. But
Tommy has an EVH, I think, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
One or two. I think he's got more than one actually.
But I was pleasantly surprised that the Rabia neck is wider than the JP's.
Is it still tiny though? Proportionately speaking to
No, it's kind of stratty. It's like a thin Strat neck.
Yeah, fuck.
It's not super thin, but it's not chunky either.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty comfortable. You know, if there wasn't like that big of a gap between the strings and the fretboard in the middle of the fucking neck. But yeah.
Speaking of return it, here's Jay Hannon. How you doing, brother? Good show last night, man.
Jay?
That was really good.
Did you put
Enjoyed
anything on Keith's commissary? Yeah, see, Todd, I'm not a PRS guy either. I had a custom 24 for a few years.
9 is identical to the Music Man EVH neck, thin and narrow. Huh.
Yeah, see, when it comes to Strat necks, like a real Strat neck, I like the late 50s kind of, not the V neck. I guess it's really be the early 50s, like the 54, 55 pattern on the custom shops are pretty chunky D shape. I really like those because if I want to have a chunky neck, I want some shoulders on it.
Funny, I like them like that. Maybe almost to a soft V. You know those.
Fucking
Not like a Luke neck, but there was one or two custom shops I played, and it felt like you could almost feel like a little bit of a V, but they weren't so bolstered. Like you could still put your hand out, and you could still do the wraparound with your thumb, right?
Jay, if you want a Charvel, you need to find one of these older made in Japans. The necks on these are closer to the Stripe Series EVH than the newer made in Mexico ones. The newer Speed C Charvel profile is 0.770 to 0.840, and these are 0.790 to I think 0.850. So these are closer to the EVH neck.
What are they here? Would you say 7 something?
This guitar is 0.790.
Right.
0.850, 0.855-ish.
Right.
Now the new neck that I've got that's 0.840 to 0.970.
Oof.
So feels really Feels really good, but it's asymmetric carve too. So
I think this is 810 to 880 or 99.
right.
Real nice. I like it.
Yeah, after playing I don't know, man. That damn 63 custom shop I played at Guitar Center, that red, it was like red over fucking Sunburst or something. The neck on that thing was fucking phenomenal, except for that shitty ass 7.25-inch radius.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, he's trying to do a 1.5-step bend and you're choking out. I think I played it in that when we went live. I think that was the first guitar I played through that amp, that Soldano Astro that we played through.
I think that would be my absolute ideal, somewhere in there, Tommy.
You know, my next guitar, that I'm actually going to buy, is going to be a Kotzen Strat, one of the white Kotzen Strats. I fucking love that thing, and that neck is 1 inch the whole way. It's like
Right.
It's like 0.999 at the first and like 1.10 or 1.01 or some shit at the 12th. I don't know if you ever go watch Trogley's channel. He did the measurements on one of the tellies.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty much 1 inch the whole way.
So that's like a Warmoth boat neck. Is that a boat neck or a fat back? There's one that's 1 inch here and it's 1 inch there.
I think the boat neck is closer to a V. It's like a big V profile. I don't know.
I think from all their options, I think the SRV is the one. So I think it's like 9 to 1 or something.
No.
And it's asymmetrical, isn't it?
No. The SRV is 0.840 to 0.970.
Okay.
Ask me how I know.
So that would be similar to this, which is good. But it's asymmetrical,
It
right?
is. It is asymmetrical.
So it's light up top
So
here?
if anybody needs to know the fucking neck profile of the neck I'm putting on the project guitar, it's the SRV profile, 0.840 to 0.970. Yeah, it feels good. We'll see how it feels strung up and bolted to a body.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So excited for you. What do you think, boys? Should we pull the plug on this?
Yeah, I want to play one out since I've switched guitars.
You're doing a cover or what?
No, I'm just do a round and play it out.
Anything in particular, bud?
Play something fucking rocking, man. Hang on. Let me see what I got here.
Yeah, you do something then.
Yeah, we'll do that one. We'll let Jimmy lead it off first. It's an E. Tuning's drop D, but it's an E.
Got them fingers working at the end, Randy. Good job.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I couldn't really hear what I was doing. The track was super loud in my ears.
And it was dull in mine, so I couldn't. Yeah, it was low.
Yeah, it was picking
Probably
Unity,
stopped
or just a smidge over Unity, so whatever.
It's all good. Who gives a
Oh,
shit?
well.
Say goodbye, everybody. Love you guys. See you Saturday.
Yep, see everybody Saturday, man. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us this long, talking about whatever.
See you, Zach. See you, Tommy. See you, Todd. Everybody else.
Yeah, Tommy, we gotta get you on a guitar still, bud.
Yeah, he said, yeah, he's into it. Just gotta coordinate it.
Cool.
Whenever you want, buddy. No rush.
Cool. Later, everyone. Bye.